the complete independence or emancipation of the African continent. Mr. Speaker, that emancipation is not only political emancipation. From 1963 to date, all we've succeeded in doing is...
To offense enough.
Mr. Speaker, it's no wonder today we are celebrating a cocoa day, and we know cocoa also came from Fernando Po, now Equatorial Guinea, to Ghana in 1895, and from the black soil. So as we are contributing to this statement, whilst I go on, I wouldn't want to leave out the people of Ofeso North, from Nkwankwa to Afranchu, to wish them a happy Valentine's Day and a cocoa day as well. As well as my wife, Joyce.
So you are taking advantage of it?
Mr. Speaker, you want me to take that advantage? But, Mr. Speaker, on a serious note, blacks have struggled for a long time, and we have contributed immensely to the growth of this world. But what do we get in turn? We know we always talk about the fact that it was blacks that discovered America. But what is our role as blacks right now? And we also know that Africa is endowed with a whole lot of resources. Ability to learn, contribute fully to the development of our nation, recognizing the struggles that most of our leaders that have led this country to where we are have done. If you look at the history of our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, he had the opportunity to live in the United States. So most of our leaders that have led this country did. So, Mr. Speaker, I would like to support my brother, the Honorable Member of Parliament, that we will have to relook at this dual citizen law and see how best we can bring meaning to it, so that the power and the resilience of the black race can contribute to the development of our nation, Ghana. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Let him now acknowledge the Deputy Minister Designate for Health. Yes. Professor Ayinsu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for... Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to make a comment on this statement. And thank you for the maker of the statement, Honorable Jachi Kwesin, Member of Parliament from Asin North constituency. Mr. Speaker, the issue of Black History Month is a very important month for Africans and Africans in the diaspora. I want to bring this Black History Month issue back to the medical industry as a medical doctor and a surgeon specialist myself. When we look at blacks in the diaspora, there's a lot of expertise that Ghana can benefit from medical experts in the diaspora. They cut across from Brazil to Middle East, to the Caribbean, to America, to Canada, to the UK. All across the world, we have blacks who are experts in the medical field. These are some super specialized experts. As we sit here today in Ghana, Mr. Speaker, we have issues with medical expertise. Where we have enough experts, we don't have enough of them. So what happens in most of our hospitals is that you see that the same experts are rotating through all the medical centers. So we are at a deficit of medical experts. Some of the medical experts are in areas where there's only one or two of them in the entire country. So in celebrating Black History Month, I would urge this House to make it easier for medical experts in the diaspora. Maybe we look into those and see how best we can make it easier for Africans in the diaspora to come to Ghana to support our health industry. Mr. Speaker, I would like to also say that even if these experts are not coming here permanently, we can use them on a rotational basis. We have NGOs that can bring doctors and experts maybe every 3 months to help the Ghanaian health system and support the system. Most of these experts, because of their patriotism, would probably do it and do it for free. So it will almost be at no cost to the Ghanaian medical system, yet we are going to benefit from their great expertise. So in conclusion, I would like to thank Honorable Gyakye Quayson for bringing up this very important month of Black History Month. And I would also like to use this opportunity to thank the people in the cocoa growing areas of my constituency of Esika Duketan constituency, the people in Imbridani, the people in Atiasi, the people in Bohumbozen, and all the cocoa growing areas in Esika Duketan. I would like to wish them a happy chocolate day, and hopefully this weekend I will bring chocolate to all of them in the villages, and we can enjoy the end product of our hard work. And I would also like to highlight what is happening with our cocoa. Most of the cocoa areas the cocoa plants are being cut down to make way for galamsey. And I think that we should also look into that, because cocoa is a very important product for the country, and it brings in most of our income for the country. Thank you so much, and thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to make this contribution. Thank you.
So now everybody gets the floor and he wants to take advantage. Yes, Honorable Minister for Education.
Mr. Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity to thank the Honorable Gyakye Quayson for the statement on the Black History Month, and to call on us in recognizing the monumental contribution of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to the economic, social, and political development of our country, the contribution of Nelson Mandela, not just breaking the walls of apartheid and ensuring that South Africa was ushered into a democracy which gave more power and rights to persons with black background, and then also in celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King. Mr. Speaker, in commending him on his statement, may I refer you to the paragraph in the second page, where he says that issue of dual citizenship. Mr. Speaker, the onus is on us as a country, that are we ready to make the best use of the expertise acquired by Ghanaians who have lived and worked abroad for several years, but for good reason had to give up their citizenship for other countries. We know that the motivation at the time for many who traveled to the United Kingdom or to the United States, they acquired those citizenship because they didn't want to be chased around like they are being chased around today. So they had to switch citizenship in order that they gain some of the benefits associated with the citizenship of that country. But Mr. Speaker, in 1993, when the Constitution was promulgated, with your indulgence, I quote, the Constitution in Article 8 read, and Mr. Speaker, I quote, which was repealed. It says in Article 8(1), a citizen of Ghana may hold the citizenship of any other country in addition to his citizenship of Ghana. So, Mr. Speaker, constitutional. If you are a Ghanaian and you choose that you want to hold the citizenship of another country, our law, our constitution permit it, lawful. But Mr. Speaker, in 8(2), it reads, without prejudice to Article 94(2) of the Constitution, and this is the emphasis, no citizen of Ghana shall qualify to be appointed as a holder of any office specified in this clause if he holds the citizenship of any other country in addition to his citizenship of Ghana. So if you are a dual citizen, you cannot be ambassador or a high commissioner. You cannot be secretary to the cabinet. You cannot be chief of defense staff or any service chief. You cannot be inspector general of police. You cannot be commissioner customs, excise and preventive service, director of immigration service, and Mr. Speaker, any office specified by an act of parliament. So what parliament chooses to do. So Mr. Speaker, when you are a dual citizen, even in parliament, what we need to do, and Mr. Speaker, I'm particularly happy you are in the chair. What is the difference between allegiance to the state and citizenship? They cannot be the same legally. If you follow the Bilson case in the early days of the 1993 Constitution, you owe allegiance to another state. The assumption is that when you are a dual citizen, your allegiance have shifted, and that you may not owe allegiance to the country of your birth or your country of nationality. So, Mr. Speaker, what we need to do, which one of our colleagues tried doing in the last parliament, I believe he was the chairman of the Committee on Roads, we almost got it through. Mr. Speaker, it was myself and Honorable Chairman discussing this, and probably that's why I'm raising it. He came at private member bill to amend the Constitution. I do not think that the Constitution is weightier. If you want to amend the Constitution, let it be the decision of the state. That's why the president is head of state. The initiative must be that of the president, that I'm seeking to amend the Constitution in Article 8 and to allow for dual citizens to hold certain category of public offices. Mr. Speaker, my concern, by which we can deal with when we get to the lawmaking, is that it cannot be open to every other office. But so for elected member of parliament, you cannot be a dual citizen and at the same time be an elected member of parliament. But should we not amend the Constitution? As I said, allegiance of state is not the same thing. Then, Mr. Speaker, whilst commending him, let me conclude again in his paragraph 4, and to assure this House that sooner than later, Excellency John Dramani Mahama will launch the Black Star Experience. I met him taxing the Minister for Tourism to take this initiative up and do what is appropriate so that it becomes an essential part of Ghana's independence celebration. It was a view of the President that this year is too close, but at least into next year, the Minister for Tourism will lead the President's policy reforms in making the Black Star Experience a model to attract more tourism and more tourists into our country, and for us to celebrate our culture and to celebrate our values as a people. Mr. Speaker, finally, whilst I commend the Honorable Jechi Kwesi, today, Ghana, our image is soaring very high, and that is why we must work to preserve it. Just the transition of political power from one political party to the other, from a different political party to the other, as to Ghana becoming a beacon of hope in the pursuit of multi-party constitutional democracy. What we need to do is to preserve our respect to the fundamentals of the rule of law and pray that Ghana does not tomorrow move into the annals of a banana republic where we are not governed by law but governed by the weight of some other person. So the Honorable Jechi Kwesi, let me commend you for the statement, and do take part when the Minister for Tourism is leading the Black Star Experience initiative of the President to drive his resetting agenda in the tourism sector. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. So we have to amend Article 8(2) of the Constitution. And probably, Mr. Speaker, when we get there, we may have to look at Article 94. Again, the Constitutional Review Commission can take advantage of it. And citizens of Ghana who feel strong about it abroad, including Professor Azai and Co., they were the team that kept coming to Mr. Speaker and your good self, urging us to make sure that we took off that part from our laws. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I now reach out to leadership?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity. I commend highly the maker of the statement. Mr. Speaker, a very senior mentor who had to go into details of discussing issues of allegiance and citizenship. Mr. Speaker, we also are very well versed to the extent of knowing that every citizen has responsibilities. So if you are a citizen and you also want to serve your state, there are due obligations for you to take up, including paying your taxes, including ensuring that whatever you are doing to the other country that you have taken up at another point of citizenship, you are providing same allegiance to your original country. Mr. Speaker, and we know that this cannot be measured as to whether or not one is very allegiant or one is not. Mr. Speaker, we are here today to believe that the Constitution, if you look at chapter 3 of the Constitution, and in particular 8123, there have been some amendments that we also have to pay attention to, and to understand that it is very important for anybody who wants to be seen as a Ghanaian to do so in a whole perspective, not in a partial perspective. Whole to the extent that you are a true Ghanaian and that you can be a Speaker of Parliament when you tomorrow decide to do so, because you are qualified to do so. Mr. Speaker, as we are here today, we want to believe that if we put everything in proper perspective, tomorrow anybody who qualifies to have a dual citizenship should have so without any problems. And such a person should also be able to contest an election without any problems. That is why, on this note, I commend the maker of the statement, and more especially my senior learned friend, for also bringing in an aspect of the issue of allegiance. How do you prove allegiance? And that is a matter which is very critical and we all have to pay attention to. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to contribute to this statement.
Yes, Deputy Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I would also like to thank the maker of the statement, Honorable J. Chikwesen, for making this important statement. Mr. Speaker, the issue of Black History Month is a global one, not only Africa, but Africans in the diaspora. And it is worth celebrating, and that is why Americans have made it a very important month for the history of the African people. Mr. Speaker, African people or African descent have gone through various experiences, in the over a century. They have also excelled in many walks of life. Mr. Speaker, wherever you go in the world, there is an African who is doing something quite important. Therefore, it's not a doubt that Africans are capable of doing what other, race or other shades of people are doing in the world. And we don't celebrate ourselves enough, and it is important that we do so. In any field that you mentioned, there is an African there who has done extremely well. At the top end of diplomacy, of politics, we've seen Africans who have occupied global positions, like the United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan, and many was right in making a statement. I do pray that eventually we're able to revisit this bill and make sure that Ghanaians, wherever they are, can come back home and make a significant contribution to Ghana's economy. Mr. Speaker, we get a lot from foreign remittances, from Ghanaians who are working and living abroad. Yet, when it comes to certain positions, the same Ghanaians who are making a significant contribution to Ghana's economy cannot participate because of the citizenship issue. We do have Ghanaians who are dual citizenship and do other things. I believe we have Ghanaians who are dual citizenship who play for the national team. So if you are good enough to play for the national team and you are representing Ghana, and we have faith in you that you do the right thing and make sure Ghana wins the matches, that we are losing people with certain expertise that can contribute to the country, but they fall short of doing so because of the challenges that they might encounter when they make that attempt to come home and help. Mr. Speaker, I take the opportunity again to thank the maker of the statement, of this important statement. And with these few words, Mr. Speaker, I would like to end here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, honorable members. I think with regards to this issue of dual citizenship, our brother, Professor Kokuya Sari, has always been reaching out as to how we will get this bill done. I think a lot of our brothers and sisters sitting elsewhere who are desirous to come and also not only coming to take part in the management and the development of the country, we also want to take part in our elections. They are pushing so many discussions on board. And I think going forward, when we revisit that particular bill, we can look at it from all these angles. People are even suggesting that why can't we have diasporan constituencies, whereby Ghanaians in Europe or America, you have setting up set constituencies for them, so that all Ghanaians over there will contest, and whoever is elected will be part of our legislative body. So there are so many discussions that are going on, and I think once we revisit that particular bill, we will look at it from all this angle. So, Honorable Judge Kwesi, we thank you for bringing this to the fore. And our ministers, Lisbeth and Jifa, and our Deputy Majority Whip, who also made a statement in regards to the day, we thank all of you. On that note, I think we'll bring the curtains down for the day. So, Honorable Member, I think since we've not exhausted our 5 hours, you can move a motion for us to adjourn the House.
Very well, Mr. Speaker. I don't know if I have the floor, sorry.
Mr. Speaker, yes, but we are tired, and I would like to move a motion for us to bring proceedings to an end today and adjourn until Tuesday next week.
Well.
Yeah.
Yes, minority leadership.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I propose 12 o'clock on Tuesday.
Mr. Speaker, we are not against the motion. We only will take this opportunity to wish each and every person a happy chocolate day, and to wish the people of Wejagbawe a happy chocolate day. Mr. Speaker, we thank you very much.
Yes, honorable members, even though the majority leadership proposed 12, my directive from Mr. Speaker is to come to the chamber by 10. So the House is adjourned to Tuesday, 10 o'clock in the forenoon. The House stands adjourned.